Hello, good morning, Dr. Gonzalez. So this video is going over to talk about fluency, vocabulary, and text comprehension. And we're gonna look at at a lesson here in Amplify Texas. So this is the website for Amplify Texas. You'll log in, and then you'll look over here towards the left. We have the K through fifth grade elementary literacy program. We'll click on this program, and then it'll take us to our main page of the program. So now on the top left, we have our grade levels. So we have K, first, third, through fifth grade. So with this lesson, I was looking at a lesson on third grade. So we're gonna look at third grade, and then here on on the right, we have our daily instruction, and then also our program resources. So we'll click on the daily instruction. And with daily instruction, the great thing about this is that it also has the lesson available in Spanish. So for those bilingual teachers, we have those Spanish lessons. But today we're going to focus on English lessons. And then we'll look at the components of the lesson. So for that, we're going to go into the daily instruction. So for the late daily lesson, I think I was looking at second grade. Sorry. Okay, so second grade. So we're looking at second grade, and we're gonna focus on the skills. Skill number one, we have our teacher's guide. We have the activity book, and then we also have other resources like reading content, and like work activity books and stuff like that. And then we have different digital components of the lessons. So we look at the teacher's guide, the overview of the teacher's guide. We're gonna look at lesson number 4. So we're gonna scroll down to page 60 something. I believe it's page 66. All right. So in this lesson, we're gonna recap like previous skills. Those previous skills would have to be about a little bit about phonological and phonemic awareness, some phonics skills, and then we're gonna dive into fluency, vocabulary, and of course, text comprehension. So the basic core review of lesson number 4. This is the back to school review. So this review, we're gonna be talking about the sounds and spellings, and then we're gonna be talking about those different segments and blends, and then one syllable words with short vowels, and then those are called the short vowel, the closed vowel rule, which we mark as short. But then we're gonna focus on the vowel sounds, just to recap and review prior knowledge. And then for the readings, the teacher will read the book The Bone Man out loud, and then students will read along with purpose, understanding the practice, and then as they read along, they develop accuracy. They read along with an appropriate rate, and then they also put tone and expression to the reading. And then, of course, the teacher will ask questions and the students will answer it. At the same time, the teacher is formatively assessing the students through observations whenever they do the dictation journal, and then the activity of over the story questions over the bone man. So then, of course, we find our tics here, which our tics here focus on those the spellings, the vowel teams, the diphthongs, the digraphs, reading with accuracy, rate, and prosody. And then we'd talk about vocabulary, and then we'd talk about at the end understanding the text comprehension through cues, through visual cues, and like background knowledge. So then we look at a glance through the lesson. So this is going to be the glance of the lesson. This is the most of the lessons going to be taught within the whole group. So first we do the warm up. We have to, of course, the warm up is the attention getter, getting them engaged into what the lesson is going to be about. So they're gonna focus on consonant code, flipbook, and then individual code charts, which will review those blends and segments. And then also the teacher's going to do some dictation to check on their phonics skills and awareness. And then they're going to introduce the storybook, which is the Bone Man. And then we'll have some material for them to take home. So the fundamental skills display like student understanding of the spellings of consonants and words. So as we go down the lesson, we find the start of the lesson, which is a review of those consonant flip books. This is what it looks like. Like we have closed vowel rules, and this sounds like the ch, the 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 sh, and then we're able to say those beginning sounds, add the vowel, and then end it with the consonant. And then they'll do it individually as well. And then the teacher will have an activity where the teacher is chaining those letters, and she's adding repetitive sounds towards the end, and then she changes it at the end to make new words and different sounds. So lip, hip, ship, chip, chin, then, and then. So we have those rhymings, and then whenever we take one phoneme and then switch it to add another phoneme, so it would take lip, it would take the and lip, and we add the h to ip, then we have hip, and then we would take the h, the h sound, and hip, and then we add the sh, we have ship, and then so on and so on. Same thing with that, fat, and shat, and we take out the beginning sound. What are we left with? We're left with, like, we take out the beginning sound in cat. What are we left with? We're left with at. What do we replace that cut with ch? Then we have chat. And then right here, what if we take that last ending sound, the t in cat, and we switch it for the n? We have can now. Now, another one will be like, what if we take that last sound and on like the in can, we take out that sound, and then we got sh, then we have cash. So as we break this this individual phonemes, we substitute them for a different phoneme. We are creating new words. So this is just a recap on phonemic awareness, and then as we blend and then create different sounds and words. So, and then at the same time we're jumping into phonics, a recap on phonics, and then we have our detection observational, where the teacher is observing the students' dictation on how their phonics awareness is. So then we go down to the reading, which is the primary focus. The teacher reads the Boneman out loud with prosody, and then the students read out loud along. And then the students are learning how to read with accuracy, with an appropriate rate and expression, which is pretty much the fluency aspect. The students are learning how to like read words correctly with accuracy, and then at appropriate amount, the appropriate and the appropriate rate, and then they're adding tone and expression to what they're reading. So whenever they're doing this, the students are developing those fluency skills, which is not about fluency is not about like how fast they read, but how accurate are they reading? Are they reading with the appropriate rate? And are they reading with expression and tone? And are they stopping and pausing? Are they asking themselves questions? So this is what fluency is. And then as they read along with the teacher aloud, they're developing those skills. So then we have other activities that we present core vocabulary. So in vocabulary, we present very different types of vocabulary. We represent vocabularies in the tier one level as like high frequency words, but then we mostly present tier two. But then when we get into more complex, we present tier three vocabulary, which is like receptor and reptile, which is this is focusing about a science lesson in specific. So it will give the students the definition of what this is, and then we'll provide an example. Like right here, it says a raptor, short for velociraptor, a meat-eater dinosaur that walked on two legs. Large birds like hawks and eagles are also called raptors because they hunt prey for food. And an example, we will read this to students. The raptor was considered to be one of the smallest dinosaurs. Once again, the raptor was considered to be one of the smartest dinosaurs. So you provide that example and then kind of like reinforcing that vocabulary word. So with this, I would say that this is a great moment to introduce a FAIR model into their journals. I don't think it said nothing about a FAIR model here in this specific lesson overview, but I would definitely introduce a FAIR model. Get that student to write these words down on their FAIR model, because these are different words that are more like tier three level, that we have what we don't see on a regular basis, but besides this specific content a lesson plan where we're talking about science, raptors and reptiles. So over here we have another word, which is a reptile. It introduces the definition again, and then it provides the example. A reptile, a snake is a reptile without legs. So then it kind of like gives students two different creatures that are so different. So one has no legs, one has legs. So then students are able to create those FAIR models, and they could add that word, the definition, and then build upon the FAIR model to add characteristics. Like right here, it's already given them great characteristics. So under a reptile, they would put, okay, well, a reptile is a snake is a reptile without legs, but not necessarily every reptile. Like not necessarily every reptile, not all reptiles have legs. Some reptiles do have legs. Sorry about that confusion. But now, moving forward, we will just to wrap it up. We will just create those FAIR models, and then to have students, and at the same time, we're formatively assessing students' understanding as we see those FAIR models being completed. And of course, it gives you a more overview of the TICs, of what they are. Are they reading at grade level? And then as we evaluate their readings, we determine key ideas for like instructional approaches or like instructional changes as needed. And this is what I was talking about the tier 3, tier 2, and then tier 1. So there was another word as well, which was college, which was a tier 2, that we could use this word in multiple subjects, but the word more specific to reptiles, more specific to science. And then the purpose for reading this, students are reading carefully, and then we're checking for understanding constantly. We're asking questions, we're pausing, we're bringing out our comprehension glove as we read the Bone Man. And then it's just different other activities that there could be added to it. So at the end, we want to create that 5E multisensorial classroom with having the five senses in there, which are the the tactile, the back T, the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile, which is the smell and taste. So we want to add this senses to our lessons on a regular basis. So then after we finish with the lesson, we take them home with an activity over the bone man where the students now get to read the bone man to their family members. And we'll look how those activity looks. Now we have to go back to that activity book. So once we go to the activity book, we go down to the lesson 4. But as we're talking about this, we want to create those that multisensory lesson as we teach the five components of the science of teaching and reading, which are those phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. Because at the end, it all comes to that comprehension where was a student able to have phonemic awareness, phonics, was the student reading with fluency, and then did the student have vocabulary comprehension? Because the vocabulary meaning that the student gets from the vocabulary words, if they know what the vocabulary word means, they will build up upon that text comprehension. Because if a student is reading and they don't know what a vocabulary word is saying, they are gonna be stuck, because if the student did not know what a reptile is or what other words are, the student will not comprehend the text. So as the students read, we want to make sure they read with accuracy, with the appropriate amount of speed, and then with tone and expression, and then with them knowing the vocabulary terms, and then we will stop as needed to explain those vocabulary terms. So this is the activity that students will take home, or this is the activity that we would formatively assess our students throughout during the class, where we have questions like the bone man, and then we have also the book available, but then we'll have to go to the resources where the books are at. So this is asking students the questions about what's actually being taught. So this is where we would kind of like stop and comprehend, like what's going on in the story. All right, and then that book should be down here, which the reader provides us many books that for throughout the activities. So we would go down to find the bone man. Oh, I thought it would be here, but okay. But yeah, so that's what we would do. We would just we would check for student comprehension as we read along, and then we would check for the fluency, for their phonics skills, and then simultaneously assessing the student at the end of the lesson would be a wrap up, so we could simultaneously assess the student's knowledge on what the lesson was or what the unit was over. So this is the overview of what the lesson plan on vocabulary, fluency, and text comprehension look like. But before that, before we dived into the fluency, vocabulary, and text comprehension, we also had to review those phonics skills and a little bit about the phonological and phonemic awareness as well. So we're always teaching these rules. It's not like we move on to another to one to like fluency and we forget about phonics and phonemic awareness. No, because we're teaching fluency, but at the same time we are also talking about phonological phonemic awareness, and we're talking about vocabulary, and then we're also wrapping it up and doing text comprehension. So as we move from each of these components of the science of teaching reading, we are not leaving the other components behind or left out. We're introducing and we're coming together as a whole. So, but at the same time, we're focusing on fluency or vocabulary or text comprehension, but we also have to have all those major components available because they are there. And we're teaching kids to become spellers, become readers, and become aware of the word meanings into their vocabulary for they could better comprehend a text when reading a book by using that prior knowledge. So this was my recap on the Amplify Texas overview of some of the lessons and the activities. And like I said, this is really great resources. And I also looked into the Spanish ones as well. And I believe this is going to be a great resource to have for when teaching those English language learners, because we could come into this Spanish lessons and get those terminologies to keep that student in academic vocabulary knowledge. So we don't just want to like just create words or like stuff like that. We want to keep those academics hands in hand as they move on through grade levels. Well, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.